Well, the crunch is really about taking great ideas and converting those ideas into viable social businesses.
The crunch is, I think, a very innovative incubator.
It helps them to test and develop that idea into something that can make it happen.
I haven't seen many programs like that that are effective in any type of setting, but particularly in a social enterprise setting.
We put the application in because there was the chance of gaining an investment or some funds, and those are words that all of us like to hear. But as the process started, I realised that the gold for us wasn't in terms of dollars and cents. It was really about laying out a roadmap for us to follow, like a plan, a definite plan.
It's really through our experience and research that's shown that the best way of achieving a really good social enterprise is actually to have the person who's going to be establishing and involved in that enterprise doing the business planning with support and help, and that's why it's designed the way it is.
I guess I discovered that a business plan is not an event, it's not something you do in a day, it's a bit of a long process. It's definitely a journey. As a journey, you discover things along the way that you didn't know were there. Some things that you thought were there are there, and some things that you thought were there are not there.
I wanted to sort of start by talking a little bit about Renew Newcastle, which is the project that has led into the creation of Renew Australia. Talk a little bit about...
Renew's interesting because the work we've been doing in Newcastle has had a lot of profile, it's attracted a lot of interest, and until this crunch process came along, I wasn't really sure what to do with that. I figured we probably needed to do something, and I have been doing, people ring me and I sort of go, yeah, I'll go and, sure, I'll come up to your town or your city or whatever and talk to you about doing something. But I hadn't really thought about structuring that, or how to structure that, or how to build a viable kind of entity around that.
Hello, just caught me hopping into the survival kit. Gee, shall I go the gin?
And look, a camera.
So this is the first of my regular video updates for the Crunch. I'm hoping I've got this aimed at me about right. I guess everyone just assumed I'd be really good at the video blogging. I was actually really awful. Like I tried to record a meeting and just recorded 2 hours in my bag of after the meeting. I clearly turned the camera on when I thought I was turning it off.
We had our first meeting last week with our Crunch team, so our mentors from Telstra and our MBA student. And I left that meeting feeling incredibly energised and really excited about the months ahead.
A lot of my role at one stage throughout the Crunch was actually matchmaking, because it was about thinking through our corporate partners and what they were hoping to get out of being involved in the Crunch. And for them as a whole, it was around providing a professional development opportunity for their staff.
I've been on other corporate development programs before at Australia Post, where you might simulate activities. You might do a day in the life where you work with actors or fictitious programs. The thing that really interested me with the Crunch was there was a real outcome. And there's actually no space for failure. I mean, if we had not done a good job at the Crunch for the Campfire Film Festival, then there was actually a person's well-being and life on the line in terms of what they did.
We've had a very busy week this week. We've had a teleconference with our mentors, with people from Westpac and with Rosemary, and that's been terrific.
From the moment I walked into Brunswick Industries, the whole place felt warm and inviting. We had an opportunity to talk to the staff, meet them and interact with them, as well as work with the CEO, Daryl, in his office. We have a number of roundtable discussions there, through phone conversations as well.
So we were really, really lucky to start a partnership with Melbourne Business School, and in particular their Asia Pacific Centre for Social Impact Leadership. And that was fantastic because it meant that we could offer participation in the Crunch as a MBA subject.
I learned first of all how hard it is to start up a business. It's not something that I had done before. And the myriad of factors that you need to take into account, and the You know, the number of potential trade-offs that you could make are limitless.
I really think for most of the students, they reflect on it as being one of the most exciting and impactful experiences they had while they were not only here, but in their educational process. And for some of them, I think it honestly has changed the course of their life.
It's been the most inspiring thing that I've done in my professional career.
Oh, that's a big call. Thank you.
I know.
Very good.
We actually had students apply, like they'd be applying for a job, and we asked them a number of questions and, went through and made sure that we thought they'd be the right fit.
At times, staying on task with this was quite difficult. And so for my student mentor, John, to understand that and to sit with me for some hours, about 3 or 4 hours one day, to map out a timeline all the way through to the pitch day was just a really valuable thing for me.
I have to say that this week I really am kind of feeling the crunch.
Bits and pieces every day. I'm definitely feeling a pressure this week.
I still feel really daunted by the whole idea of this business plan, and it seems like a very big task.
I think the crunch definitely is not a walk in the park. This is not about offering a pot of money at the end of a process. The process itself, I think, is quite demanding.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5 to 5. We haven't met any of the checkpoints. That's basically it. So I've been writing up documents all night last night.
It's hard, and it's an emotional. It's not just a cognitive thing, it's a really emotional thing because people are so emotionally involved with their social issue and with their idea, and so it is, I think people have got to be prepared emotionally as well that they're going to be challenged.
If I was at it alone, it'd be pretty scary, but I feel incredibly supported by this group of people, our crunch team, who are all so committed to making it work for us.
Personally, I think what I learnt was about planning, about the value of planning, about the business planning side of things had not been, it's fair to say it's not my strong point, thinking about markets and revenue rather than, ideas and opportunities.
This is one of those things that will have a lasting legacy in the sense that each year it's going to generate X number of enterprises, and those enterprises are going to touch X number of lives. And one thing we know about entrepreneurs is that they tend to be serial. So once they've done it once, they probably do it again.
It was really enjoyable, but seeing the pitch and the business plan all come together at the end, and you just look back and you think, wow, we did all that. So yeah,
it's been a fabulous experience. Looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Look, I've loved working with you, getting to know you all, and it's been a fantastic experience.
I had a real connection with our Crunch participant, and it was great, and it's something that we're now continuing on by way of advisory role. So it's something that I've kind of stepped on from the corporate development piece, and I personally want to keep contributing to this social enterprise.
Those business plans, if I had have shown them to you back in October, you wouldn't have believed that you could do it.
I think it's been a really successful pilot year for the Crunch.
If you're ready for work, and if you've got sleeves to roll up, you better roll them up. Come with a very open mind and you'll learn heaps. But be prepared to work.
I won't stop till the break of dawn.